guys, Yegi here. Those of you that don't know me, I'm a master lash artist and lash educator. I'm the owner of Yegi Beauty. We are an eyelash extensions training company and also product line. We're here to spread our love for eyelashes, and we want to share the opportunity for other lash artists to become educators. I want to tell you guys a little bit more about our educator program, but I don't want to tell you myself because it is amazing, but I want you to hear from someone else. You're going to get a chance to hear from Brittany, who has been our longtime ambassador and our educator who went through the program when the program was new and is doing really well. And I would like for you to hear from her what it takes to be an educator and what are the benefits of it. Basically, what the program is, I personally will teach you how to become an eyelash educator. It could be either in person in LA, California, or it will be a virtual training, but it's super customizable. And we have one-on-one sessions over the phone, over Zoom, to make sure that I'm gonna teach you literally everything I did to be successful. If it's the business side, how to get students, the actual breakdown of the checklist of what we do in class so you can also follow it. Also, I will give you all the forms that we use so you don't have to fully recreate the forms, and it's super affordable for what it is. You basically also get a mentorship and then get an opportunity to work with the company, but also teach your own classes on your own to make even more money. So you won't be just stuck being our educator for our company. We help you do your own thing if that's what you want to do. We love partnering with people, so make sure to ask questions if you have any, but I will let you guys hear from Brittany. I think it's better to hear from someone who actually went through the program. So quick introduction for Brittany. You will get to hear from her, but she has been a long time lash artist, educator, and a Yegi ambassador, and she's based in Florida, but she does also travel to other cities in order to teach the classes. She will share with you what it takes to be a good educator and who is the right person to be an educator. So you'll get to see, based on her opinion, if this might be the right program for you or not. She also will share her knowledge and experience about how to be a good educator, what she has done for her students to be successful and very satisfied. So it'll be really cool to see her best practices. She also talks about how or why she loves being an educator. I hope you find this video helpful. Please email academy@yegibeauty.com. We'll link all that information below. We will also link Brittany's information below. Make sure you follow and support her as well, and let us know if you have any questions. We are happy to grow this program and add more educators across the United States and Canada for right now. We're not doing international just yet, but we will. All right, have a great day. Bye, guys.
My experience as an educator has been very great. I've loved educating and partnering with Yegi Beauty. I think they're a great company. I think their training is spot on, and everything that they teach and what we train to the students is all things that I think are very important, and it's all very thorough. It's all things that I would want students to know anyway, and it's all there. So my experience has been very great partnering with them, and I feel that students are getting the knowledge that they need to be successful lash artists. I love traveling. I think that that's one of the fun parts about this job, if you wish. I know that we tend to try to teach more in our local area, which is great, but it's also really fun to travel a little bit and go teach maybe in a different city. So being flexible in that regard will also help you to reach and be able to teach more classes if you can go outside of your own city. So I've loved doing that, and I think it's all part of the experience. You know, you go and you set up at a hotel, typically is where we hold the classes, in a hotel conference room. I've typically had no problems with that, and usually it's a great space. You have a nice room to work with where you have access to either a projector screen or a TV, and you can get your whole class set up with tables, and if you are having live models, you can set up your massage beds. So working with the hotels has been a great way to bring these classes more widespread and be able to travel to other cities and different areas by, teaching at conference rooms in different locations. So I've loved the whole experience. I really do love educating. And the reason that I love it so much is because when I started out as a new lash artist, my training, in my opinion, wasn't that great. And I do feel that I had to learn a lot of things kind of the hard way on my own. I was not a Yegi Academy student. I got my training elsewhere. So I feel that I needed to learn a lot on my own in order to become the lash artist that I wanted to be. And because of that, I know how important it is to have good training, and especially with lashes when it is so tedious and there's a lot that goes into it. So because of that, I knew that I wanted to become an educator, because I knew that I wanted to share knowledge with others so that they don't have to go through the hard process of learning things and making all these mistakes, that they had sound knowledge and training that they could trust right off the bat. And that's why I got into it. And partnering with Yegi Beauty and Yegi Academy has been great, and I've been able to kind of live out that dream as an educator that I wanted to back a few years ago. The first quality that I believe makes a good eyelash educator is being organized. Seems pretty common sense. However, there are many things that go into teaching a class that you have to keep in mind. So being organized ahead of time is very important. Something that I personally do to stay organized as an educator is have a separate educator kit ready to go. And in that kit, I have everything that I need to teach the class. Extra supplies for the students just in case they need it, other products that they can look at and I can show them to teach different product knowledge on stuff that might not necessarily be in their kits. I'll have even things like my equipment, like my technical equipment, like my projector. I'll have my cords and my different plugs and things that I need in order to get everything set up. Always make sure you have your laptop or whatever device you're using to play the videos for the training. You want to make sure you have all of that ready. Also, just little things you might not think about, like some paper towels, some tissues, maybe some cups, stuff like that that the students might also need during their training. Also, sanitation is big, so you want to make sure you have a sanitizing agent there so that you can spray down the stations and the beds if they're working on live models, and make sure you're staying sanitary throughout the class. Another thing is you want to make sure that you are able to explain things and break things down for the students without talking too fast or rambling on, because you have to remember, even though you are experienced and you have a lot of knowledge, you know what you mean when you say it. Most of the students that are going to be training from you, they have no idea of these things. It's their first time learning. So they're going to need you to speak slow, speak clearly, and make sure that you're very concise whenever you do answer a question or you are explaining a certain topic. That is very important. So I've learned to just pause, think about, really think about what they just asked me rather than jumping ahead so fast to the things that I want to say. Really think about what are they asking me here, right? And then from there, I try to break it down. And I always like to have even a little whiteboard on hand in my educator kit that I just talked about. And I have some dry erase markers. And if I need to even draw visuals out, I will do that as well, because some people are more visual learners. If there's a concept that I'm trying to show more in depth, I will do that as well. So it's good to be concise, speak more slowly, and remember that this is their first time hearing this information. So it's good to make sure that you're clear and that you aren't rushing through it. Another thing is being confident. This goes kind of hand in hand with the last point. Being very confident in your skills and in your knowledge. So as an educator, you should already have some experience in the eyelash industry as a lash artist yourself. So if you're educating others, clearly know a lot about lashes, right? But you want to make sure that even though you do know, you present that in a confident way, and that when you are answering questions, you are confident. Because sometimes I think maybe we doubt ourselves, or we think like, oh, maybe I don't really know that. But make sure that you brush up on everything that you need to know. Think about all the questions that a student might ask you, and try to even write down some answers to those ahead of time. That way you have it ready. Because you want to make sure that you can speak with authority and speak with confidence if a student does ask you a question. That way they're going to feel more trusted in you as an educator, and they're going to feel like they have true facts and knowledge coming at them, and it's not just wishy-washy or unclear. They want to make sure that they feel sound about the knowledge that you are giving them. So confidence in your abilities and confidence in your knowledge when you are answering questions and talking to the students is very important. My last point I want to say that I think is very important when it comes to being an educator is that you are student focused. Now, What does that mean? Well, what I mean when I say student focused is that you are paying attention to the students at all times, especially when they're doing their hands-on, whether it's with their mannequin or if they have a live model. And that means that you take the focus away from all, the worry that you might have about how you look as a educator, and you put your focus on the student, and you're really paying attention to some key things such as their hand placement when they're practicing their different techniques such as isolation, application, making their fans, picking up the extensions, all these new things that they're learning. Because as you know, it does feel very different. It can feel kind of awkward and strange when you're new at doing lashes. Things don't feel quite right. You might be holding your hands kind of in weird positions or weird angles. And it can be easy to not notice that, and then the student ends up practicing incorrectly the whole class. So being student focused means that you're paying attention to the details of the students. You're walking around as they're practicing and you're noticing those things. Okay, I see that this student is crumbling their hand over to the side when they're practicing, and that's going to be really bad for them if they continue to practice that way. So I'm going to correct them right now because I'm noticing it and I'm aware of what the students are doing, not just kind of aimlessly wandering while they do whatever. It's really important because this is the key time when they're learning their initial skills. So we do have to be student focused. Also with posture, body posture, make sure you're paying attention to how they're sitting. Make sure they're not hunching over, and that if they are, you give them a gentle reminder like, hey, remember, we want to keep good posture. And I know it feels weird now. You can let them know like, hey, I know it feels strange, but I promise if you continue to practice this way, which is the correct way, it will feel normal over time and it shouldn't be a big deal for you. So being student focused. I know when I started out educating, I did my very best to pay attention, but sometimes especially when you're a new educator, you're sometimes a little nervous and you're kind of worried about, oh, I hope I look okay and I hope I don't, I don't come off like I don't know what I'm talking about or something like that because you're just nervous. But try to put that aside and own it, own it. You're an educator. You do know what you're talking about. Goes back to my last point with confidence. And it's time for you to really care about what the students are doing because you're here for them. You're here to train them and make sure that they have a great experience. And that's what being student focused is all about. So those are my main points on some qualities that I think make a great eyelash educator. So thank you, Yegi Beauty, for a great educator experience. I love partnering with you guys and can't wait to teach more classes. Bye.